What's up, everybody? Dave P with The Cream. We're doing a quick video about lead generation. Even if this is not new to you, you're still going to hear some golden nuggets. We're always learning and moving and shaking in our own business. So I got some new stuff here for you. I was thinking about this, that I put some slides together for you all, and hope you enjoy it. If you are new, you're going to get a good overview, good understanding of lead generation for an off-market acquisitions system operation. That's what we're up to over here. So let's get right in. First, we're going to get into outbound. This is us reaching out to the market. And then we're going to talk about inbound. We used to be way more heavy into outbound marketing, and we have actually shifted to inbound marketing. I'm not opposed to outbound marketing, though, and that's reaching directly out to customers and prospects. Especially if you're new. I think it's a great thing to build some calluses, get you on the phone. This is the most important thing for you to do, is just be talking to people and really break through that fear. A lot of people kind of have fear, and you got to break through that. As soon as you can start to overcome some fears, you're going to be a better real estate investor, better at negotiating real estate deals. And outbound is a great way to, earn your stripes, if you will. Get hung up on quite a bit and get people who just aren't motivated. You got to go through that stuff, though. And then you're going to be able to get on a phone and really wrap up deals extremely quickly. It comes with repetitions, though. So first and foremost, let's talk about social media. I just want you to know, because we get asked this, what about like Facebook ads and Instagram and things like that? We have not seen a ton of success. In fact, I don't know many people with a ton of success on social media ads for house buying. Like We Buy Houses stuff on social media. I think social media is best for running ads to sell products. I think sellers, the demographic of sellers, if they're going to use the internet to find a house buying company, they're using a search engine, not social media. That's what I found. So with that being said, you could use social media to bolster or boost and create some backlinks and whatnot for your We Buy Houses site. But I personally am not a huge fan of running ads on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and places like that for attracting motivated sellers. I don't think it's great for off-market acquisitions. I don't think sellers are really looking here. And I think search engines are much better. And we will be getting into that when we get into the inbound part of this presentation, because something we are very bullish on is the PPC, the pay-per-click advertising. Text and RVM, if you're not familiar with what RVM stands for, that is ringless voicemail. Text is pretty self-explanatory. And ringless voicemail is where essentially you use a system you create a recording and you drop that recording on a bunch of people's voicemail. So their phone never rings. You just land in their voicemail. Now, we have done both texting and RVM. The good thing about this is you are able to reach a lot of people for a relatively low cost. You're able to cast a wide net. Really what this comes down to, a lot of outbound marketing is getting data. You can get data lists from any number of people or places. If you are one of our coaching students, we actually have a lot of good affiliations with data companies and whatnot. So you're going to want to get that directly from us. But you guys know, go on the internet. There's a million different list providers. Really, the money is in the data. You really got to know that you're getting good lists. And you don't want to be essentially getting the same lists that everybody else is working. So you don't want to buy the same watered down data that everybody else is using. But, basically with text and RVM, you get yourself a data list, you do a skip trace. You can get your skip tracing done, creamskip.com. We have a skip tracing service, and you're able to reach a lot of people for a low cost. The bad thing is a lot of these people are not going to be motivated because it is a very cold type of approach. It could be considered intrusive. And there's a lot of FTC rules and regulations and things like that coming up. So you do want to be aware of that. And you need a system to succeed here. So, if you're if people are calling back and whatnot, you need a virtual assistant or you need somebody helping you man the phones. And you just need to build a system here, because if you're trying to do it all yourself, it could get a bit overwhelming. You're going to be getting a lot of people saying, take me off your list, and you're going to be needing that data management piece is important. And you can definitely outsource that with a virtual assistant, something like that. Outsourced cold calling is where you hire callers. The good news, once again, is you're able to reach a lot of people for a relatively low cost. The cons are not a lot of motivated people. You're going to get a lot of non-motivated people. Could be considered intrusive once again, and there are FTC rules and regulations. We've done this quite a bit. We've gotten deals from everything that we share with you here today in this presentation. We've actually gotten deals. It all works. Anything that you are consistent with will work for you, just so you know. But with the outsourced cold calling, oftentimes this will be you hiring maybe somebody to do the phones out who's out of the country. And sometimes that accent throws people off. It is a way to generate leads, like I mentioned, and a lot of the people are not going to be super motivated. And you do need a system here. You're going to be managing people, virtual assistants and whatnot, to really manage the data, remove people from the lists, manage the database a little bit. So it does work. You do need a system, which is going to incur more costs. If you're just starting out, it may not be the best thing for you. You're going to need to buy the data, do a skip trace. Once again, send that skip traced list over to your cold callers. And then the best thing to do, here's a golden nugget for you. If you're doing the outsourced cold calling, and once again, it does work. I'm not here to, shit on it too bad, but to be completely upfront, what you're going to want to do is as soon as your cold caller gets a live lead over the phone, have them transfer it right to you or your acquisitions rep, right? So there's not a lot of callback lag time and stuff like that. Set up the live transfer system. We use the phone system called Smartphone, and we're able to do a lot of live transfers this way. So something to look into. Personal cold calling. Now, I think this is a good play. This is where you and or your team are going to be doing the cold calling yourself. So this is going to be not really just a cold calling speed dialer volume, calling a whole bunch of people, more of a targeted list. So if you get like a specific couple zip codes that you're targeting, and then you're pulling code violations, for instance, in these particular zip codes, there's not going to be a massive list. So you might want to do the cold calling yourself. It's not that difficult to do. Even if you're just getting, I used to do the cold calling for us. I'm not opposed to it because I was targeting a probate campaign and there was only like 30 new ones a week. So I would just take these 30 and pick up the phone and call. And it is a great way to build a connection over the phone, especially when it's you directly. There's no middle person. There's no barrier between you and the actual seller. It works really well. Now, direct mail. I believe direct mail is one of the most underrated marketing campaigns. You might be thinking, what? Direct mail? Does anyone even use the regular mail anymore? Yes. In fact, people do more than ever. So this can be a bit costly, but it is worth it if you do have good data lists. You notice the trend here. It keeps coming back to getting quality data. And our students have access to quality data. It really is the separator. So email is the new junk mail. If you recall back in the day, if you're my age, I'm 41, but back in the day, before email, we used to get huge stacks of junk mail. The junk mail has cut down massively in direct mail because most companies are now doing online advertising. So the direct mail has gone down, or the junk mail has gone down in the direct mail, but that creates even more of an opportunity for us to reach our target prospects and get right into their mailbox. And people respond. We've had a tremendous amount of success from direct mail. The downfall is it can be slightly expensive because you got to pay for postage and whatnot. And you got to pay for things to be printed and envelopes to be stuffed or postcards. Postcards are generally going to be less expensive than a letter, but it all works. Like I said, the money's really in the data, right? You got to target. It's better to be with direct mail, so you're not just blanketing a massive area. It's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars to do that. Try to be more of a sniper. So target specific properties, i.e., all the 3-bedroom, 2-bath properties in this zip code that are between 1,000 and 1,500 square feet. I mean, that's like a targeted list. I like that approach. And then hit them with direct mail. You'll probably be one of the few people actually doing the direct mail. It will be a way to separate you. It's a bit more professional. This is actually an inbound approach. It's you reaching out to them, but then they're going to pick up the phone and call you. So I think direct mail is much underrated and underappreciated. And if you are a coaching student with us, we do have a really good mail house who will handle all of your direct mail for you. Just ask us. Driving for dollars, another massively underrated marketing campaign. Why? I think it's because people just think it's too old school. People think, it's just, and people, I think in general, are lazy, right? They're just lazy. They just want everything done for them. This involves you driving neighborhoods, finding houses that are potentially vacant, and then, you would actually look up the owner of this property. This is how I got my start. You're looking up the owners of these properties and then contacting them either over the phone or with direct mail and, and get them on the phone. I think this is a super targeted way to get deals. I think you could create a smoking list for yourself because it's like a custom list that you're building by driving. We use the app Deal Machine. We used to have an affiliate link with them. Maybe I'll stick it in, the chat or stick it in the description of this video. But that is a good way to actually, you use the app to take a picture of the property. And I believe you can actually skip trace the owner right there in front of the house just by taking a picture of the property. And you can send a piece of direct mail right there from the app, Deal Machine. Consistency is the key. Not only for this marketing campaign, but for all marketing campaigns and for all success in life, right? I mean, you can't just go to the gym once and expect to be in the best shape of your life. You got to be consistent in your relationships, be consistent in your follow-up, be consistent in your marketing. This is the key to success in life. It is the ones who can just stay consistent, hang in there. If you're willing to do that, you are miles apart from basically everybody else. Just stick to something. Don't try to do everything. I'm going to do every marketing campaign and spread myself too thin. Pick one or two things and then stick with it for a true 90 days. And I'm confident you will get a deal regardless what marketing campaign you're going to be doing here. Consistency is the key. Door knocking. Again, this is actually massively underrated simply because it is the most time consuming. Meaning, you got to get in your car and drive around. It's not efficient. However, it's massively impactful. And targeted prospects is the key. So what I have done is target zip codes that I want to buy in, where we know we can make money, and go after people who are behind on their taxes, property taxes, and just knock on their door. And a great way to do it is just say, hey, I'm in the area. I'm looking for a property in the area. I'm a cash buyer. Do you know anyone, or you might be interested in selling the property anytime in the near future? It's a very low intrusive way. Don't just knock on someone's door and say, hey, I heard you're back on your taxes. Would you be interested in selling? No. You want to build a connection. Just say, I'm looking in the area. And it is okay to say, hey, is your name John? Yeah, you're John? Okay. I looked it up on the public records because I'm very interested in this area. Would you be interested in selling anytime in the near future? Right? Kind of open the conversation, and you'd be surprised. You build these connections. It's a very impactful way to get in front of sellers. Let's talk inbound here. Pay per click. Pay per click advertising can be costly, but it's very much worth it. The main marketing we are doing here, everybody, is PPC, which we're going to discuss, and then the next one, which is PPL, which is pay per lead advertising. Can be costly, but it's worth it. You got to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you got to hire it out. We currently are hiring it out. However, we're learning to do it ourselves, everybody. So we are going to be removing any manager. And guess what? If you're a coaching student with us in our launch program, you will have full access. As soon as we crack the code on this and figure it out, you guys are going to know exactly how to do it yourself. So that's going to be more dollars in your pocket that you could put towards advertising. And that's what it is. It's paying for Google and Bing and search engines. This is very impactful. And one thing to kind of consider is the larger the geographical area, the cheaper the cost per lead. So if you're running ads in a micro area, just in one city, well, the leads, it's going to be quite expensive. However, it's very targeted and you're only going to get leads in that area. We like a larger geographical area. So we target the entire state of Ohio. We're targeting Texas as well. And basically, we've done this and marketed to numerous states. The key to a large geographical area and a lower cost per lead is having a system to be able to get these contracts over the phone. So PPC is amazing. Do it yourself if you know how, or you got to pay someone to do it. And a lot of people don't do this again because there is a cost to it, and it does take some time to get clicked in here. It takes time to kick in, I should say, not click in. I'm looking at the word click. And a lot of people don't have enough dry powder to really do this, like a full-scale marketing campaign. So if you got a couple bucks to your name, I always recommend, if you got a couple $3,000 that you can put towards this, it is worth it. And especially once we crack the code on doing this yourself. PPL, pay per lead. Now there's numerous, you could, Google search right now and find numerous companies that will sell you leads. They're essentially doing their own pay per click advertising in these areas and then selling you the leads for a markup. Not all companies are created equal. So, we work with a really good one. And again, our students have full access to that. Excuse me. However, some of these companies, they basically just, who knows where they're getting their leads. I think they're probably stealing leads from other people, or it just doesn't really work out very well. So you want to make sure you're working with a credible lead provider. And this has been extremely impactful in our business. And you're going to want to choose your counties wisely. So the way these pay per lead services work is you select what county you want to buy in, and you choose that specific county. And typically the smaller the county, the smaller the population, the cheaper the lead will be because the less competitive it is. And if you're doing novations in your business, I'm here to let you know, small counties work great. If you're doing novations, which we'll teach you how to do these and get these deals right over the phone. But you can target the smaller counties and then tie these deals up over the phone and then sell these on the MLS. And there are MLS buyers even in these smaller cities and smaller counties. And the cost per these smaller counties is less, right? So that is my inbound and outbound presentation for the day. Let me know what questions you have.